Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Samantha. Thank you so much for being here. Today we are kicking off 2024 with a planning and organization video. These are some of my favorite things, so I am so excited. And I use several things to plan out my life. I use bullet journaling, I use Notion, and then I use Google Calendar. And they all kind of serve different purposes. And so today we're going to get into bullet journaling and Notion. And so we'll start by setting up my 2024 bullet journal. And this is mostly used for short-term goals and day-to-day life. And then we're gonna go over into Notion, which is set up for long-term planning and organization. So I'm so excited to get started. So let's go ahead and dive in. All right, let's go ahead and kick off with our 2024 bullet journal spread. I take a very simple approach with my bullet journal. I used to do all the fun little frills and details and colors in college, but it just got to be too much for me when I got into the working world, and I just didn't have time anymore. And 2023 was the year that I fell back in love with bullet journaling, and I really found spreads and a new system that worked for me. It wasn't about perfection anymore. It just became about efficiency, routines, and what worked best for me. So I don't normally go in with pencil, but I wanted to do that just to make sure that I had my lines right. But it's okay to make mistakes in my bullet journal. That's what it's for. It's not meant to be perfect. But I do start off my journal with 2023 reflections on the left side of the page. And from that section, I have highlights from 2023, something I learned, something I was proud of, and what I want to leave behind. And so I'll have each of those things has a dedicated box. And then on the other side of the page is 2024 goals, what I want to accomplish in 2024, something I want to learn in 2024, my mottos for 2024, and then what I want to bring into 2024. And on the following page, I decided to do 2024 at the start. So I'm also doing the same boxes, and in each box I have one for fitness, one for wellness, one for personal, and one for career. And I think that at the end of the year, this will be a really fun way to look back on the year and see where I was in all of these different boxes. And I really do enjoy some illustrations in my bullet journal. And when I was thinking about the new year, I kept imagining a light switch and turning it on to a fresh start. And so I looked up some inspiration on Pinterest for light switches, and I ended up drawing a flip of the switch to a fresh start. And then I go ahead and start my January spread, and I wanted to draw an image of a lamp. I always start a month with a drawing that represents where I'm at and where I'm going. And given that January is one of the darker months in the Pacific Northwest, I felt that a light made a lot of sense. And I think that it also tied into my light switch theme. And then I have a spread of the month on the other side. And I'm not gonna lie, I messed up my spread a little bit. I usually do gratitude, affirmations, intentions, and daily highlights, and I accidentally forgot to include intentions. So I'll have to go in and add those, for each day as they happen wherever I have room. But that's okay. My journal, like I said, it's okay to have mistakes. It's not the end of the world, and we got to give ourselves that grace. It's not that deep, but this is my spread. I'm really happy with the way that it turned out, and I'm excited to kick off the year. So let's go ahead and dive into my 2024 Notion template. This was inspired by Jenna Hong. I'll go ahead and link her channel. And she had this free template that was incredible and so well thought out. And I went ahead and used her free template, and then I just tweaked it and personalized it to fit my needs. Let's go ahead and dive in. So I'm someone who loves sky pictures. So this felt right for me. This makes me hopeful. So that's what I went with. And then I have two images here. One is my vision board from my previous video. And then this picture right here where focus goes, energy flows. That was just an image that really resonated with me as I was creating my vision board. It's just a reminder that we have control over our thoughts. So let's go ahead and dive into personal. And let's start with yearly goals. I have a word that really resonated with me, consistency, and I have balance, building. Like I said, I started a new job. I feel like I'm building a new path in that way. I'm building my YouTube. I'm also, continuing to build my connections and my relationships with my friends and my family and cards. I want to get better at my cards. So this is kind of a year of building. And then also silly. I am somewhat of a silly goose and I don't show it a lot on this channel, but I'm just a silly gal. And I think that sometimes life can be so serious and I can be so serious that I need the reminder that, it's okay to be silly. And then as we go over here to my personal goals, first one I have is practice self-care with daily bullet journaling, movement, walks, alone time. And then the little toggle down below is the how that I'm gonna do that. So I have create a morning and evening routine that I look forward to and works for my schedule, and then my timeline. So my timeline is Q1, which I know the company I work for, their Q1s are different, but I think that this would be May, February, March. It would be March. So I'll put that here. End of March. Okay. And then I have quality time unplugged with myself, with friends, with Luke and Kiwi. And then I go into different categories for each of them. And I did this way because if I get to 2024 and I realize I prioritize myself, but I didn't do anybody else, then I can tick that one off instead of just ticking off the whole one. So with myself, I want to prioritize my routines. I'll come back to that a little bit later. With my friends, I really want to have a weekly art night, pasta nights, having dinner parties, phone calls or FaceTimes, things like that. I think that that's doable. And then Luke, doing monthly date nights since we've been together. So this isn't anything new. This is just continuing what we already have. And then Kiwi is a cat who needs a lot of attention. And I think that's because she's a pandemic pet. I noticed that when she doesn't get it, she's kind of a naughty girl. And a little bit of a menace. So I need to find time to incorporate her into my routines. And goal for all of this is Q1. And then I want to read at least 12 books. That's one book a month. That's timeline end of the year. And I read, I think 22 or 23 last year. So this seems manageable to me. You got to have some easy goals, or not easy goals, but goals that feel manageable so that it becomes an easy win and you can just, cross it off. And then I also have less screen time. I want to unplug by, so this is also March, so I should say Q1 here. Q1 stuff. And then we have some YouTube, and this is where it's a little fun. I want to reach 200 subscribers by the end of the year. I'm going to post weekly. I want to create a brand. I think eventually they'll get to a place where I'll do some short form and share my Instagram and TikTok and stuff. I'm just not quite there yet, but I'm hoping to get 100 by July and then another 100 by December. To me, this seems like I feel good about this, but that could be me just being overly optimistic, but it's okay to dream. Gotta start somewhere. And then I also want to plan YouTube content a couple weeks in advance, which I have. I've set it up. It's just, I need to use it. And then I want to create a formula for my content to make it a little bit easier on me so I know what I'm filming for and what I'm planning for. And then I also think that having like a quarterly business check-in would be good because I can see, do I need to upgrade my equipment? Is it time to get on other socials and share that? Quarterly business check-in would be a great idea. Timeline for this is May. So this is, okay, wait, April, May, June. I think that this should be June. End of Q2. Whoa. Okay. And then I want an editing routine. And I'm also gonna say end of Q2. Get into health and fitness, into intuitive eating, and I want to focus on the foods and activities that make me feel good. I eat a lot of dairy or sugar, affects my ulcerative colitis, which is my autoimmune disease, and then hydrate. Got a new water bottle for Christmas from Luke. I love it. I love this color green. I love green and pink together. Or some ways that I could do this is I could make spa water. It's very easy to make, or I could make drinking into a game. Like when I'm driving into work, every time I see a red car, I take like a big gulp. So then I do Lean with Lily workouts, and currently I do like 4 to 5 times a week, and I always do it in the morning. And honestly, this is something like I think I'll hit by January. I've been doing these workouts for so long that it's just a routine at this point. And then lastly, I want to run a 10K. I used to do cross country in high school. I am not good at it. I'm not fast. I'm in that slow run-in club. It's more just like doing it and building endurance. And I got back into it over the summer, and then a couple things just kept happening where like I got minorly injured and then I got sick, and by the time I was healthy to get back into it, the weather got really bad, and so it just didn't happen. But I think that I can train for this and then plan on doing a 10K at least by the end of fall. And I'm not trying to formalize this. I don't need to be in a race or anything. To me, this is more just want to run that far. So that's that. And then lastly, my career goals. I want to get comfortable in my new role. I started a new job and I just feel like I need to get comfortable in that role and really learn and figure everything out. And so I'm going to do that by asking a lot of questions. That's something that I'm really good at doing. And my goal here is by end of Q2. And lastly, I want to set clear boundaries with my new team. So some of those things include not contacting me outside of business hours, or it's fine if you do, but just don't expect a response. I have a long commute because I don't live close to campus. Job accommodation for my disability, and just pushing back. Like I want to be comfortable pushing back in appropriate moments. Those are my yearly goals. And then I have some other intentions that are at the top of my mind. I want to call my mom at least once a week. Usually Sundays are the best to do that. Sometimes I'll call her when I'm driving home. Spend less and save more. I want to look at my budgeting twice. It's Wednesdays and Sundays. I typically find that I don't spend a lot during the week because when I'm seeing friends, we're not usually buying anything. And Friday through Sunday where those things kind of pile up. So I think maybe Sundays would just be good, but just making sure that I'm keeping up on my budget. And then I really want to make our house a home, and there's just a couple updates that I think we could do to make it feel a little more cohesive to me. So those are my yearly goals. And then other things I have in here are my YouTube posting dates. So this is all new to me, and I actually did it for this one right here. This was my video that I posted last week, and I have certain tags, what kind of video it was, and I have quick notes for when I was in the editing process. I have my thumbnail and then my description here, and this has actually been really great so far. Brain dump, card brain dump, and then down here I think is where it gets a little fun. So I have a habit tracker, and I started this last year, and I actually did pretty good with it up until May. I'm not sure what happened after that. I did a little bit more of a deep dive into this in my last video, so I won't spend too much time here, but this is basically a running list, an ongoing list of everything that I want to purchase this year. And you could do this a couple different ways. I chose to make this like my fun list, like the things that I really want. I have my favorites, and I always forget like what movies, what books, what music, what places I've gone to. And so I think this is an easy way to track all those things from the year. In Media Hub, and then Therapy Notes, that's pretty self-explanatory, and then Ideal Routines. All right, and let's go ahead and take a look at our January goals and reflection. I also broke these up into the same categories that I used for the yearly goals. I think that I'll be able to achieve the yearly goals maybe a little bit faster, but my monthly goals kind of feed into those. So let's go ahead and kick off with personal. I would like to prioritize unplugged time, having a job where I am on a computer most of the day, and then also YouTube, having that time of day where I'm just done with screen time is really important to me. So that is something I want to prioritize. And then I also would like to establish a morning and after work routine. My employer is now having us be in office 4 days a week instead of the 3 days a week that we were last year. Definitely a routine girly, and having that sense of normalcy is really important to me. And when I'm not in routine, it just kind of, messes with my whole day. And going into fitness and health, I really want to stay consistent with my workout routine and my walk routine. These are something in the winter that I've been doing before work, and I found that seems to work better for me, and so I want to keep going with that. I had to take a lot of time off of those things in December because I was sick, so I just want to get back into the habit of working out before work and going on walks regularly. And then looking at career, I would like to set one-on-ones with everyone on my new work team. I find that meeting people in like large group settings can be a little overwhelming, so I think if I set up one-on-ones with everybody, it will be easier to get to know the team, get to know the culture, get to know the players. So that is a big goal to me, as well as confirming my 30, 60, 90-day expectations in my role. Neither of these things are expected of me. I just want to see where I'm going, and I want to make sure that my manager and I are in alignment on the path that I'm following. I don't want to get to 90 days and, she's thinking I should be in a different place than where I am. So I would like to set that up and just, talk through that with her. Going into the other category, I would like to pay a medical bill that I've been meaning to pay. I've just been waiting for it to go through insurance. And then I also want to have a no spend month so that I can, recover from the holidays. End of month reflection. That will be another easy way for me to track the big moments, the highlights, the challenges of January. So that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. As you can tell, I'm really passionate about planning and organization, and this is something that I would like to make a recurrence on my channel. I think that it will hold me accountable to reach my own goals, and then hopefully inspire and encourage you to reach your own goals as well. So that is all for today's video. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you next week.